The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry, adapted by Robin Norton. Della looked out of the only window of her small apartment. Della thought about the wonderful gift she wanted to buy her husband, Jim. It was almost Christmas. Della tried hard to save every penny she could to purchase Jim a wonderful present. She bought the cheapest vegetables and meat, but this wasn't enough. Della was despondent. She could only save $1.87 to buy Jim a special gift. How could she purchase a special gift for Jim with only $1.87? Della's husband, Jim, worked very hard. He only earned $20 a week. Della wanted to buy a gift to show how much she loved Jim. Della sat in her dark apartment and cried. What could she do? Suddenly, a thought came to her. Della looked in the mirror hanging on the wall of her bedroom. She looked at her beautiful hair shining like a brown waterfall. Now, Della and Jim were poor, but they had two treasures. Jim had a gold watch that had belonged to his father and his grandfather before him. Della had her long brown hair. Della took one last look at herself in the mirror. She stood still as a tear fell to the floor. Then she quickly pinned up her long hair, put on her old brown coat, and walked out of her apartment. Della walked 1 block to a store. The sign on the front of the store read, Madame Sofroni, hair goods of all kinds. Della opened the door and nervously stepped through the door of the dark shop. Will you buy my hair? Della asked. I can buy your hair, said Madame Sofroni. Take the pins out of your hair and let me see it. Della took the pins out of her hair. It fell around her knees in beautiful brown waves. I will give you $20 for your hair, said Madame Sofroni. I will take it, said Della. Della spent the next 2 hours looking for the perfect gift for Jim. She looked in every store window. Finally, she saw the perfect gift. It was a chain made of simple, round rings of silver. This would be the perfect match for Jim's gold watch, thought Della. It was a perfect gift for Jim. It was like him, quiet with great value. Della gave the shopkeeper $21 and hurried home with the 87 cents she had left in her pocket. When Della arrived home, she again looked in the mirror. What would Jim say about her short hair? Della quickly began to fix her hair. She combed and curled her short hair. When she was finished, she looked once again in the mirror. I hope Jim won't be angry, thought Della. At 7 o'clock that night, Della sat quietly in the kitchen and waited for Jim to come home. The coffee was made and the pot of meat on the stove was tender and hot. When Della heard Jim's footsteps on the stairs leading up to their apartment, she quietly whispered, Please make Jim think I'm pretty. The door opened. Jim stood still and silent in the doorway. His coat was old and thin. He was only 22 years old. Jim stared at Della. He didn't speak. His eyes looked strange. Della felt scared. Jim, my love, Della cried, do not look at me that way. I cut my hair and sold it because I could not live through Christmas without giving you a gift. My hair will grow again. It grows very fast. Please say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let us be happy together. I have a beautiful gift for you. You cut your hair? Jim spoke slowly. Yes, replied Della. I sold it. It is Christmas Eve. Please be kind to me. I cut it for you. Maybe the hairs of my head are numbered, she said with sudden serious sweetness. But nobody could ever count my love for you. Should I put the meat on the table, Jim? Jim smiled. Della, said Jim, I do not think there is any haircut that could make you look any less beautiful. Please open the gift I bought for you, and you will see why I look scared. With rapid hands, Della opened the gift from Jim. She screamed with happiness, but her happiness rapidly turned to sadness, and a tear fell from her eye. Jim hugged his wife. Della again looked at the gift Jim gave her. Inside the box were the set of combs Della had wanted ever since she saw them in a store window. They were beautiful combs made of shells with jewels on the edge. They would look perfect in her long brown hair. Now the combs were hers, but her beautiful long hair was gone. Della held the combs close to her. She looked at Jim and smiled. My hair grows fast, Jim. Then Della jumped out of the chair like a cat. Oh no, Della exclaimed. I have a gift for you, Jim. Della happily held out the silver chain. Isn't it beautiful, Jim? Give me your watch. I want to see how the chain looks on it. Jim sat on the couch and put his hands behind his head and smiled. Dell, Jim said, let us put our Christmas gifts away and keep them for a while. They are too nice to use right now. I sold my gold watch to get the money to buy the combs for your hair. Now let's eat dinner. The Magi were wise men who brought gifts to the baby Jesus. Their gifts were wise ones. This is a story of two young people who unwisely gave each other the greatest treasures of their small house. But these two young people were the wisest. They are the Magi.